Well, welcome in once again, everybody, to another show of Pick Your Politics. And for our viewers, please remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to the show. That would help us out greatly. And you know what this show is about. It's kind of bringing you, the viewer, the voter, a little bit more up close and personal with the various candidates who are running for various offices, whether they be Republican, whether they be Democratic, whether they be independent or not, like you find in the nonpartisan, in the judicial races. And speaking of nonpartisan, we have a young lady today with us who is running for Family Law Court Department D for divorce, right? That's
correct.
very ironic. In the 8th Judicial District here in Nevada. And you're going to find her as a very, very well experienced, interesting guest. And I'm talking about, do you prefer Patricia or Pat?
Patty.
Oh, it's Patty. I never would have guessed that.
Yes, Patty's
Okay.
fine.
All right. Patty is a well-established family law attorney, and as I mentioned, now is a candidate for Department D, judge of the 8th Judicial District Family Court. She has practiced law in Nevada for, and this is hard to believe, more than 42 years. Is that right?
Actually, 22 years.
22 years. Yeah, I knew that couldn't be right. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I've lived in Nevada for over 40 years.
42 years. That's what I.
Yes.
Let me start off and ask you, Patty, why did you want to become an attorney?
Well, there's a quick story. When I was in 8th grade, I had a math teacher.
Okay.
I can say his name now. It's been so long, Mr. Kelly. And during my childhood, or as a youth, you didn't question authority. So I was in class with my girlfriend, and he was what I perceived as picking on my girlfriend. And so I raised my hand because I couldn't stand it any longer. And I stood up and I said my piece respectfully. And he looked at me, and I'll never forget, he had bright red hair and he had horn-rimmed glasses. And his glasses fell down a little bit, and he looked at me. He was stunned because I was, such a good little girl.
Yeah.
And he said, "What are you, her lawyer?"
Really?
and I guess it
The bulb went off.
yeah, I mean, I
my
can't
gosh.
sit idly by and watch what I perceive as an injustice happen to somebody that is unable to speak for themselves or not able to. So
There are so many areas of the practice of law. What got you so involved in family law?
that's another great question. When I began my legal career, I worked for a sole practitioner, and we would take on mammoth clients as defendants, nationally recognized. So it wasn't uncommon to have a 2-3 week jury trial, and I would second chair. So I gained a lot of experience in that regard. My daughter at that time was very young, and it was, although as much as I loved it, I knew I had to have some balance in my life.
Yeah.
And so, and there were other things as well that contributed to me leaving that firm and went to another firm and where they practiced family law as well. And so I began practicing family law. And then when I went out on my own in 2013, the bulk of my practice became family law. And it's rewarding, it's challenging.
Oh, yeah.
But it is rewarding when a client texts you a picture of the client with their children, and if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be possible.
Well, as you know, as a family court judge, there's many areas that you also can be involved in, such as dissolution agreements, or I should say disagreements, custody battles, child custody support. Do you have any preferences to what you like to hear?
I've done it all, and I believe Department D is a good fit for me because it will be handling divorce matters, custody
Yeah.
matters, things of that nature. I have, however, practiced in TPO court, in guardianship court, in abuse and neglect, and juvenile as well. So I've practiced in all the divisions within family court. I have a wealth of experience in that regard.
Yeah, and you've got neglect, you've got abuse, and I would imagine that some of these cases are hard to hear.
They are.
They get emotional.
No, you have to remain objective. And that's not difficult after I've been doing this for so long. But I do, when all's said and done, you do feel empathetic for, the parties that are involved.
Yeah.
So it's an eye-opener,
Yeah,
to
it
say
is.
the least.
Patty, what would you guess would be the amount of paternity cases that you would be hearing?
Oh, in Department D, I'd say quite a few. And I tell you why,
Really?
because
That's
it doesn't.
surprising.
It doesn't, as opposed to divorce cases.
Yeah.
And I say that because people just aren't getting married anymore. So a lot of them, I'd say it's leaning more towards paternity and or custody cases as opposed to divorce cases. And that's interesting. And it's surprising. I mean, sometimes people are able to work it out, and I commend that. It's to their benefit, but other times, for whatever reason, it has to be litigated.
Yeah.
And that's okay too.
That's got to be tough on everybody. I mean, especially when you're dealing with small children, and it can get very emotional.
It can. But the focus is the best interest of the child and or children.
Yeah.
So it has to be.
Has to be, yeah. You have experience in criminal law, civil litigation, bankruptcy, and you even have some appellate experience.
I do.
Tell us a little
do.
bit about that, because that's cool.
Yeah, it is. Well, the first appellate case that I did is when I worked at my first firm, and my opponent was it was an oral argument in front of the Nevada Supreme Court, and I hadn't even been practicing. I think I was practicing 6 months, and
Really?
my opponent,
Wow.
opposing counsel, was practicing for 25 plus years, so it was a little intimidating.
I bet.
But and it was a difficult case. I won't get into the specifics of it. It dealt with premises liability, but I won. So
Okay.
it was a difficult argument, and as admitted by opposing counsel, and it wasn't easy, but I learned a lot.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
in addition to winning the actual case, which is a published decision, it's Seaput v. Lacayo, I learned a lot from that experience, and I was off to a running start.
Yeah. I asked you before the show where you were originally from, and she said Ohio. She just did. What brought you out here to Las Vegas?
I moved out here with a former spouse, and I stayed, and he left.
He left.
And I've been here ever since.
Yeah. And when did you decide to open your own office?
It was in 2013, and it wasn't something that I planned on doing, but the economy was suffering, and so it was time, and I've been off and running with my own practice. It's
Yeah.
never something that I didn't graduate from law school and take the bar and say, I'm opening my own firm, because I recognized early on that it's beneficial to have mentors and
Oh, yeah.
experience.
Yes.
Experience is critical.
Critical.
I was not willing to throw caution to the wind, and I recognized that I didn't feel secure with my legal experience at that point to just open my own firm. I just didn't feel comfortable with that, because I
Yeah.
want to do the best possible
Yeah.
job
It's a
for
big
clients.
responsibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. and you've had it for a while. You've done very well with it. And what was the deciding factor in wanting you to run for the bench?
Well, I saw my clients suffer to some extent when decisions either had to be appealed or otherwise. And my daughter actually, she said, do something about it. And I said, I can't argue with that. She's right. Just step up to the plate.
Yeah.
And we have a great judiciary, but every once in a while, I think it's very critical because I've seen firsthand how a client can suffer emotionally, with stress, financially, when we don't get it right.
Yeah.
And I think
Absolutely
it's critical.
right.
I think we owe that to our community.
Yeah.
And that's where experience comes in.
No doubt.
If I had zero experience, if I had never done a divorce case, if I had never done a custody case, there is no way I would have thrown my hat into the proverbial ring because I believe that our community deserves people that are experienced.
Yep, I totally agree. Totally agree. Your platform emphasizes, I found this interesting, the principles of merit, accountability, responsibility, and respect. And if you put that all together, you get MARRS. Very clever. Whose idea was that?
Thank you. There were some ideas that came from my campaign manager.
Aha, okay. Yeah, I've spoken to your campaign manager a number of times, and she's very nice, very helpful, very respectful, and I hope you're paying her a lot of money.
We'll keep her around.
Yeah, keep her around.
She's a keeper.
Yeah, she's a keeper. Yeah, she's good. Now, being that this is a nonpartisan race, as it should be,
Yes.
and you still do have the opportunity to walk neighborhoods, knock on doors, find out what's bothering people about the judiciary, I guess. Do you do that?
I haven't yet. It's a bit hot. It's going to cool down, but I'll be out there.
It is a bit hot.
I'll be out there walking our streets. And what surprised me is this is my first time ever running for office. And what really surprised me is that people don't have access. They don't know a lot about the candidates, judicial candidates.
Very true.
And
That's why we like to have shows like this
absolutely, I think it's
to
critical.
introduce you.
Absolutely, you should know who's going to be sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
You should know what their experience is, and you should look at the websites critically.
Yeah.
And ask questions. What is your experience?
Right.
Have you done this before?
Right.
When? Where? How often? But that surprised me, and it was shocking to me about the judges, maybe because I work in the business, but a lot of people, they just don't know, so they guess. And it
Correct.
could be dangerous because you could be in front of a judge one day and you didn't do your research, and you might not get a good result. You may or may not, but that judge will be making important decisions that
Yes.
affect your life.
Correct.
If it's in family court, it will affect your life to the respect your children, potentially, your finances, in a criminal case, your freedom. So we need to do better.
Family court is a little bit different than going for civil litigation or something where you could go, I totally disagree with your opinion, with your judgment. I'm going to appeal. Do they have that same possibility in family court?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They sure do. But it can be costly. And it can be, it takes time to go through the system unless it's a fast track statement in appellate court. And the fast track is involving custody. So our Supreme Court has a mechanism where that's expedited to a large extent. But absolutely, of course, there has to be a basis. But again, you want to try and avoid that because you want resolution. Family court cases,
Well, yeah.
people need resolution. They need to know, okay, my daughter's coming over, on Friday at 2 p.m. I have order in my life now. I know what to expect. I don't have that uncertainty because that weighs on people heavily.
Sure.
And the goal is to get it done expeditiously to the extent that's possible and get it done right. Our community, the families in our community deserve that. That's the backbone of our community, is our families.
Yeah.
That is our community.
You're absolutely right. Do you have, for people to help you, it's like I keep saying, to run a campaign takes money, takes time, takes energy, takes commitment. Do you have any events that are coming up?
Oh, goodness, yes, I do. I have an event that's coming up on August the 20th.
August the 20th sounds like a Thursday.
It
to me.
is. It is.
That was just a wild guess.
Really?
Just a guess.
It's at 5 p.m. and it's a Poker with Patty party, and we're going to have it's going to be a lot of fun, and the goal is to obviously raise money for
sure.
the campaign because unfortunately things do cost money,
Yeah.
and so things of like advertising and things like that.
Yeah.
So-
Where's it going to be at? I'm sorry.
It is going to be on at an event, a building on Tompkins Road.
Okay.
And I want to say it is, I'm looking to my campaign manager,
Well, you're going to be posting it.
3,500. It will be posted, the official,
people can see.
it's already on Facebook.
Okay.
And my Instagram is Marr, M-A-R-R, the number 4, judge.com. And if it's not already on there, it will be before the end of the week. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It really will.
Now, they could go to your website and help you out financially, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And every little bit counts.
Of course.
It adds up and it is helpful.
Yeah.
But the goal is, and again, I'm running because I believe I have the experience. I'm qualified in that regard. I have a wealth of experience, and our families deserve, in this community, they deserve good judges.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I would think that family law, custody cases, and so on and so forth, it's probably the most emotional part of practicing law
It is.
because you're talking to two disgruntled parents. You have little kids and stuff, and that weighs on you after a while.
It doesn't weigh on me for whatever reason. I'm so motivated and so passionate about my work that I enjoy it. It's like a challenge every day.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm helping people.
Yeah.
And it's, I think you raised a good point, the emotional stance of it. And that's another reason why experience is critical, because I don't know if you recall this over the past summer, the shooting at Smith's.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
you want to try and de-escalate. And I mean, there's just one of many examples.
Yeah.
As I said before, a lot of people can't handle stress.
Yeah.
And so you want closure.
I shop at that market, by the way.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do?
Oh, yeah. For a long time. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It is absolutely horrific. And people, they have a hard time. They grapple with it. They don't understand.
Yes.
And so that's why resolution, if you have somebody experienced on the bench,
Mm-hmm.
it could be a matter of life and death. It
You're
could
right.
come to that. And I'm not saying that
No,
the
great
judge
point.
in that case did anything wrong. Please don't
Great point.
misunderstand me. But it could be. I have seen people. I have seen bad things happen to people that cannot handle the stress,
Yeah, I'll
or
bet.
it's yeah.
I'll bet. Now, a very important question, Judge. Who's going to replace you when you're on the bench at your firm?
Oh, at my firm. Well, I'm not a judge yet. I like the optimism, but I have some people in mind. I know it will be hard because I love my clients. They're like my children to some extent, and I care about them. I care about their futures. But I recognize too, I'm glad you brought that up, because I recognize being on the bench is a different animal, so to
Totally.
speak. You're not there to advocate.
you're not.
You're not there to analyze.
Right.
I have a degree in psychology, but I certainly won't be analyzing people. That's not my job. My job is to
it's not.
apply the facts of the case to the law and rule in an impartial manner. Maintain decorum in the courtroom. Everybody should have a voice.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot different than what I do now. I'm an advocate. I'm very passionate,
Yeah.
and yeah. So it will. I'm already thinking about the transition, and so a lot of people know me, and I can be very. Maybe some people would say I'm aggressive in the courtroom, but I recognize that can't happen when you're on the bench. You have to maintain
Neutrality.
decorum. Absolutely. You have to maintain decorum. You cannot advocate. It's a
Right.
completely different
Yeah.
job,
Yeah.
so to speak, in some respects.
Do most people that are in family court for one reason or another, are they represented by a family law attorney, or do they come in pro bono?
That's a great question. They, many of them, more and more people, are representing themselves, which I would submit, and I'm not advocating to, for myself as to, hire me or anybody else for that matter, but I've seen the pitfalls
Yeah.
when they don't know what they're doing
It could be a disservice.
to themselves. And I understand a lot of people, it can be costly to retain counsel. So I have always offered payment plans or tried to help people whenever I
Yeah.
can. My rates are the same pretty much as they were 13 years ago. And because I recognize the need, that there's a need there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But with that being said, I'm used to dealing with people that may be representing themselves, and it can be a bit tricky because you can't explain the law to them. You can
No.
explain the procedure,
Yeah.
but you have to still advocate for your client. But they're distrustful, and so, and understandably so, it's a very intimidating process.
I would imagine that probably one, in my opinion, I might be totally wrong, one of the most difficult parts of what you're doing is when you're handling a custody case.
Yes.
Boy, that's got to be tough.
It
Because
can.
you are making a decision that literally affects a child's life, or that's tough.
Absolutely. I'm prepared for that. I know now in my role as an advocate for my client, it's not lost on me that my representation of the client for this child or children will affect that child's future.
Absolutely.
And I have spoken to children that are now adults and, heard war stories about, they didn't have a voice in the court. And we do give children a voice. They do have a voice by way of a child interview or something similar to that. But it's not the end-all, be-all, because think about it. What kind of world would we live in if we let children
Well, yeah.
decide?
Yeah.
Decide. But they do have a voice for the most part
Yeah.
when they reach a certain age.
Yeah. That's a tough decision, oh boy.
It is, but you know what? It's a decision that will have to be made.
No doubt. That's
Right.
why you're there.
Absolutely. And you can't, again, I can't stress enough, it's not my job to sit there and psychologically analyze people. That's not the
No.
position at all. The job is to use your experience, apply the facts to the law. It's critical. And I think one thing, if I may, that comes from the experience that I have is, the nuances. By way of example, somebody that doesn't have experience in that arena or even the private sector,
Yeah.
for example. One party asks for attorney's fees. And, how are you going to determine the reasonableness of attorney's fees if you've never done it?
Right.
You're just.
Good point.
Yeah, and so that goes back to the people's money. You have a
Yeah.
judge that has virtually no experience. What are you going to do? So it can be scary. And again, it's really important. A lot of people don't realize how important family court is until they end up there.
It is, yeah.
Or know somebody that ends up there.
I could just see if you run into this scenario in a custody case, well, after hearing everything and this and that, I am awarding custody to the mother or whatever, and maybe the child just goes berserk. No, I don't want to be with my mother. I want to be with my father, and he loves me more, and this and that. What do you do then? I mean,
Well,
that's tough.
Children aren't permitted in the courtroom. So I wouldn't, and you, again, there has to be a basis. You consider the factors under NRS 125C.0035, and there are only 12 factors. There's not 15 to 20. There's
I
only
didn't know
12.
that. I didn't
Yeah.
know that children were not allowed in the courtroom. I did not realize that.
Oh no, that would not be good for them.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be involved
Yeah.
in adult matters. But you have to have a basis
Yeah.
for your decision, a sound basis, and it's got to be based in law.
Yeah.
And when you apply, the facts, and there are variations to some extent, but for the most part, you're just trying to keep families
Yeah.
intact to the extent you're able to, and bring them closure and let them live their new life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And people play
It's-
games with their children too. It's I
Oh,
see
sure.
that every day. It's really sad.
It's not easy. Patricia Marr is our special guest here on Pick Your Politics. And again, put your website address out if you would like to help out.
Sure. It's www.marr, M-A-R-R, 4, judge.com.
Yep. Yeah.
And it should be fairly easy to navigate. I'm not tech savvy, but I'm able to do it. So if I could do it, they could do it.
Yeah. When I was reading, I noticed that, or they mentioned sometimes they spell your name M-A-R with just one R.
Oh, okay.
But it's M-A-R-R, two R's, yeah.
Because two is better than one.
Yeah, two's better than one. You're right. In most cases, and I thought that was very, very interesting. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for coming on and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you for
And if there's
inviting
anything
me.
we could do to help, don't hesitate. And again, she's going to have some events coming up that you could come meet her in person,
Yes, I'd love that.
ask her some questions. Yeah,
I would welcome that.
yeah.
And I'd love that too. But the poker party should be a lot of fun.
It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited
Tell them
about
when
it.
that is again.
August the 20th. It's a Thursday, so mark your calendar.
Yeah,
Mark your calendar accordingly.
yeah. And it starts at
5 p.m.
5 p.m. or 5. Get there early and schmooze a little bit. But anyway, the best of luck to you, really.
Thank
And
you
again,
so
if
much.
there's something we could do to help you out, don't hesitate.
Oh, thank you. Your vote would be helpful.
Yeah, but you could do all of the homework you want. You could do all of the vetting you want, but it doesn't mean a thing if you don't get out there and vote.
Right.
You got to vote, okay? That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea of.
It's so important. And you know, one thing that surprised me is in our valley, I think we have, like, we're approaching 3 million for our population. And
Right.
the number of people that vote is horribly low.
Is minuscule. Yeah,
It's under 300,000.
it's not right.
It's just unbelievable. And I know people are busy, and I know people, but, you know, we have mail-in ballots. I will be on the ballot for Clark County, all of Clark County.
Yeah.
So I welcome people. I encourage people, please use your voice.
Absolutely.
It's your right, and you should exercise it. It's important.
Somebody asked me to ask you, because I certainly don't know the answer, is compared to other facets of law, there's a relatively small amount of family court judges.
There is, but it's growing.
It's growing.
It is growing. I know the judges, I mean, they have a lot, their caseload is very large, like in
Yeah.
the thousands.
Wow.
I understand that. But the interesting thing about family law is, like, if you have a breach of contract case or an anti-SLAPP action, it's going to, you know, run the course
Yeah.
in civil court, and then
Right.
it will be done, and whether it goes up on appeal and comes back down or not. But family law, if you have a young child, and say it's just it's a custody case,
Right.
and you litigated it, that case can pop open at any time. It could be 15 years later,
Wow,
and that
really?
case could open up again. So just because, you know, you have these cases, that doesn't mean all of them are active at the same
Yeah.
time, but they can open up. All it takes is somebody's filing a motion, they're unhappy about something that happened, and so now we want a motion to modify custody or modify child support, or,
Yeah.
you know, custody and child support are fluid concepts, and they're ever changing to some
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but we're growing with the
that's
community.
good.
Yes.
That's very
It
very
is.
good. That's very good. But anyway, get out and vote and vet the candidates. One of the purposes of this show, and see if they have a certain philosophy. See if you disagree, agree, and what you feel about it. But again, get out and mark that ballot. It's very, very important. Again, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank
The
you.
best of luck, and that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Pick Your Politics, and we're going to be back sooner than later with another candidate that you're going to learn about, and hopefully help you clear the fog a little bit and make a little better informed decision. That's what we're all about. So again, thank you. And
Thank you.
for Patricia, I'm Dennis Silvers, and we're going to see you back very soon. So long, everybody.